The body is DNA in almost every component of the human body. But it's amazing why the issue of paternity always crops up at the mention of DNA. Why does the mention of DNA test send shivers to the hearing of couples, especially women? It's only women who know the fathers of their children, they say. An important property of DNA is that it can replicate or make copies of itself. Each strand of DNA in the double helix can serve as a pattern for duplicating the sequence of bases. This is critical when cells divide because each new cell needs to have an exact copy of the DNA present in the old cell. Is it true that one can choose the type of DNA during insemination? Why the fuss about DNA anyway? Is it supposed to guide us as to who we make love to and with? Is DNA all about paternity? Let's find out from the doctors.
Right, this is the Health Club, and this morning we're looking at DNA, and my guest is Dr. Jacob K.D. Amwacho. He is a specialist gynecologist at the Bato Catholic Hospital, and he will shed some more light about DNA testing. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
You're welcome.
Right, so a lot of times when we talk about DNA, automatically we think about paternity and yes, paternity most of the time, but it's more than that, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So what exactly is DNA?
In fact, as the video rightly said, DNA is the genetic makeup of living cells, and for that matter, organisms and many viruses. So that is what makes you a human being, and that is what makes you different from another human being.
So what exactly is DNA made of?
The elemental basis of DNA is made up of carbohydrate, phosphate, oxygen, and hydrogen. This is mixed up in a complex form to form proteins, and then the proteins are again mixed up in a complex form to form long chains of proteins, and then the long chains of proteins are also mixed up in a certain way to form the gene, and then many genes come together to form the DNA.
Right, so this is different for every human being on this planet.
Yes.
No two persons can have the same DNA.
No, they may have similar but not the same.
What about twins?
Twins, we have two types of twins. We have the identical twins and the non-identical twins. The identical twins means that during fertilization, one egg or one sperm fertilized one egg, and then you had one baby which later on divided into two. The genetic makeup for that is almost about 99.99%, but not 100%.
So even for twins, their DNA makeup is different?
Yes, but very, very similar to the extent that it may be very difficult to separate. And then you have the non-identical twins where two different sperms will fertilize two different eggs, and then two individuals are formed separately.
Okay. Is this testing for paternity the same as for maternity? Because a lot of times when we talk about testing DNA, it has to do with paternity. But when we want to find out the maternity as well, is it the same?
Yes, in actual fact, it's the same, because when you take a baby, the contribution that makes the baby is from the mother and then the father. In actual fact, it's 50%, 50% genome. So if you want to test for the mother, it is the same way, the same process that you will have to do for yes, and it is still the DNA that you will test.
But why is testing for paternity so much more common than for maternity, or is it?
Yes, in actual fact it is, because it is easier to identify the mother of a child than the father. As it said, it's only the woman who knows the father of the baby. So usually when you carry a pregnancy, you go and deliver, and there are no mix-ups, then you know that this is your baby. But with few exceptions, there may be some mix-up somewhere, and you may think that this is not my baby. Then, in that case,
that's when questions arise.
Yeah.
Okay, so you told us exactly what DNA is made up of, but where in our bodies is it found?
In actual fact, it is found within the nucleus of the cell. It is within the cell, and in the cell,
which cell?
All the cells that make up you as a human being. You know, the skin has cells. The cells of the skin will come together to form tissues, and the tissues will form organs.
Okay.
So when
every cell in your body.
Yes, every cell in your body has DNA.
I see. What is the testing method or procedure if one were to go for a DNA test? What would be the process?
Well, it may be that you want to just know the DNA of something, maybe your child or something. In that case, you have, it's not common here, it's not here, but elsewhere you have
it's not common in Ghana.
Yes, that kits, they are self-testing kits, like the way you have pregnancy test kits.
Oh, do it yourself, that you can even do at home?
Yes.
Okay.
But that one,
but it's available in the hospitals, isn't it?
Yes, not in Ghana.
Oh, so you can't do DNA testing in Ghana?
No, you can do in Ghana, but then it has to be ordered by a court. So I was going through the process.
I see. Okay.
You can elsewhere where it is easily available. You can just go in and take the stuff. Yes, and then you do the test yourself and know the results. But you can't tender that in any law court
unless it's ordered by the court.
Yes. So the other way is that there is a dispute. You go to court and then the court orders for it.
I see. Why must the court order? Why can't you, for your own benefit or your own peace of mind, just decide to undergo a test? Why must the court order it?
That is why I said that the first one is that you can do it yourself. Okay. And even now...
No, you said in Ghana. We're talking about
in Ghana, if you want to do it, you go to the labs and then it will be done for you. But it's...
Even without a court order?
Yes, okay. It will be done for you. But you cannot use
it anywhere legally.
You only know what the test you are doing, whether it is positive for you or negative.
Why is this so? Why can't you use it if it's not court ordered?
Because these issues has a lot of legal implications. Yes. Right. So for instance, if I go and do a test and I present to you that your child is mine, so
there would be a lot of chaos.
Yes. So
you need to determine how accurate and so on and so forth. Which brings me to my next question: how accurate are these tests?
In fact, the
is
DNA...
Is it 100%?
No, it's not 100%, but it's almost 100%. It's about 99.99%.
Is that enough?
Well, it's
even
enough.
That's 1%.
It's not up to 1%.
Reasonable doubt?
It is 0.001.
Even that?
Yes, that is why it's not 100%, but it is almost always accurate. There are some set of people who may have two sets of genome, like let me put it in simple terms, double DNAs, so that you may test for one and the other one will not be tested for.
Please say that again. You have two tests, one is positive, one is negative.
Not that it is positive. You know what the DNA test does is that it matches. So for instance, if somebody wants to test whether you are related
matches as in maybe father and child, or
yes,
right.
So there are some minority, very few, very insignificant number of people whose father's gene and mother's gene mixes up in such a way that the individual who is now an entity has a genetic makeup that if you use only the father's test, you may not be able to match up all 100% the DNA.
So what does this mean? This means
that is what gives the 0.01
that doubt.
Yes, doubt. But in actual fact, when you do a DNA test and it is positive, it is really positive.
Is it possible that there will be a mistake? Has it ever happened? Is it possible?
Well, every human institution is flawed with faults. So yes, but so that is why when a court orders it, it is a third party who has no interest in the results who does it, so that all human factors are eliminated from the test.
So there's no way on earth that I guess what I'm trying to say is, can there be a mistake where indeed the person is that person's child or father or whatever, but the result says otherwise?
Yes and no, because as I earlier on said, there is a very small, very, very insignificant number of people who have that mix-up genome. They are the only people that you cannot accurately test for, but otherwise, that is why the test is about 99.99% accurate.
Can it also vary as time goes on, or let's say, as for example, can you maybe test now and everything is well and good, fine, 99 whatever percent that you just mentioned, and maybe a few years down the line you go and it's a different thing, or vice versa, you test negative now and later it's positive?
No, a human being's genetic makeup does not change. Yes, so, and it is a match. It is not just simply positive and negative.
Okay.
Yes, so it's a match and it doesn't change.
Oh, okay, that's the term. It's a match, not there's nothing like positive or negative.
Yes.
So you say it's a 99% match.
Yes.
And if it's not, does it give you the percentage, or it just says no? Or
no.
What does it say?
If you test, it is expressed in terms of probability. So if it is 0%, then it means the person has no relationship with you
at all.
Yes. And along
what about
the years,
20, 30, 40%?
there used to be some tests, for old tests, other tests that showed that amount of percentage. That's why they were discarded, and now they are using DNA.
Okay.
And
so now it's either 99% or 0.
Yes. Yes.
There's no in between. There's no 50% or 60 or
no. You
70.
can't. You can't be like that. You see, it's just that my copy is you, so you cannot be 60% of me.
Okay.
Yes. So it
it's
is
either 99 or nothing.
Not 99%, but it is either you are matching with me. It is just that when it is tested, the result is such that you are a copy of me without doubt,
right?
Or you are not a copy of me without
with certainty.
Yes.
I see. Is there anything at all that would make a person's system not be able to test for DNA? Are there any human beings whose genetic makeup would not allow them to be tested?
No, none that I've read about.
Every single person can be tested.
Yes, because you have the gene, you have the DNA. So, and it is not any invasive test.
There's no condition or disorder or medical something that would make it impossible for your sample or whatever to be taken to test.
Unless there is a condition that changes your entire genetic makeup.
Is it possible with this day, with all these surgeries and
no
things that people are able to even change their sex and all of that? Is it possible?
The sex is just one part of your genetic makeup. We talk about X and Y chromosomes, the blood, but we have, if you can take just a swab, then it is better to take the swab than to use the blood.
How long does it take to get the results?
It depends on where it's being done. It's an automated machine, so you put the sample inside and it will match. So
are we talking second?
Usually it's comparison. So because during cell division, a part that was hidden may now come up. Yes, and that will make.
Oh, so that also accounts for how people's
skin chain may persist, but then the similarities keeps reducing. But for your immediate father or mother, it is just a direct copy.
I see. At what stage in a person's life can you undergo DNA testing?
In fact, when you are even in the womb, we can test your genetic makeup.
To what age?
By 3 months.
As you live.
By 3 months in your mother's womb, we can do your genetic.
Yes, I mean after birth, up to what age? Is it till 100 years, 150?
Anytime. So
as long as you live and exist.
And even before you start living on it, it can be done. We can draw samples from the fluid around the baby when it's being formed in the womb. We call it amniotic fluid. We can take sample of that and test for the genetic makeup of the baby.
Wow. So I guess this will be a very good thing for a lot of women who sometimes don't know the fathers of their babies after they deliver. I mean, even before you deliver, you can find out.
Yes, and even not that, you see, it is also used to eliminate some in quote diseases that you don't want the person to come and suffer with. For instance, if you are AS and your husband is also AS, you have a likelihood of giving birth to a child that is SS. So if you want to test that pregnancy and know whether the baby is SS, you can do it.
And that is done via DNA testing?
Yes. It is the DNA that will tell you that this is a sickle cell disease patient or not. So
even
when you
before
do
you deliver that baby?
Yes. So when you do it and the results comes out as a sickle cell disease patient and you don't want it, then you advise yourself.
Does age affect the accuracy of the test? I know you said there's nothing at all, but I mean, would the results differ for maybe a 90-year-old man as compared to if he had done the test if he was 5 years old?
No.
Still the same?
Yes.
Nothing can change it?
I don't want to be answering your nothing.
Nothing can change it.
Because
we just need to be sure that DNA is, I mean, 100% accurate. Well, you said not 100, but 99.99999.
Yes, percent accurate. And you see, this cap, in terms of genetics, will forever remain this cap. It won't change. You may have your limb amputated, your head chopped off. The rest of your body still contains your DNA makeup, and that is it.
Right. Okay, I guess all our questions have been answered. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Dr. Jacob K.D. Amwacho is a specialist gynecologist from the Bato Catholic Hospital, and he said it all. DNA is almost 100% accurate, and nothing at all can affect the results. So yes, that's our health club.